This installment of the Crucible examines the relationship between physician specialty and the risk of being sued for medical malpractice. And the paper comes from the New England Journal of Medicine in 2011, and it's titled Malpractice Risk According to Physician Specialty. The authors reviewed 14 years of lawsuit data from a large malpractice insurance company that covered physicians from across the country. They found that the average risk of a physician being sued was 7.4% per year. The average ranged from highs of 19.1% in neurosurgery, 18.9% in CT surgery, and 15.3% in general surgery, to lows of 5.2% in family medicine, 3.1% in pediatrics, and 2.6% in psychiatry. The authors estimated that by age 65, 99% of physicians in high-risk specialties and 75% of physicians in low-risk specialties would be sued for medical malpractice. So those are the main findings. To figure out what they tell us about medical malpractice, let's start with one of the core principles of modern risk management, and that is that a physician's risk of being sued is heavily dependent on his or her interpersonal skills. I'm sure you've heard of this principle. Everyone talks about it. The idea is that physicians who have good interpersonal skills are much less likely to be sued than those who have bad interpersonal skills. Now, if that's true, and every expert says that it is, then why is the risk of being sued so heavily dependent on specialty? And why are surgeons at such high risk? If it's driven by my interpersonal skills, then why does the data show that it's dependent on my specialty? Are people who have poor communication skills drawn to become surgeons? Or is there something about the process of becoming a surgeon that blunts the ability to empathize and show compassion? These are important questions. If lawsuits are caused by poor interpersonal skills, and that's what everyone says, then our first priority is to find out what's wrong with our surgeons, because the answer is the key to understanding this phenomenon. The second thing that's instructive about this study is the fact that almost every physician will eventually be sued. And this is important because I've seen a lot of articles and presentations that discuss the secret skills of never-sued physicians. You've probably seen those articles as well. They're a cornerstone of modern risk management. And the idea is that there are certain physicians among us, physicians who have such fantastic interpersonal skills that they'll never be sued no matter what they do. And we're told that we can avoid being sued by emulating these persons, these mythical creatures. The problem is, if everyone's guaranteed to be sued, then there are no mythical creatures, and the entire exercise is misdirected because we're being told to emulate people who themselves will be sued. You see, we need to reevaluate this whole belief system, this idea that if you have a great bedside manner, no one will sue you. And I say this because the data suggests that my risk is being driven by something external to my interpersonal skills. It's heavily dependent on my specialty and where I live and the types of procedures I do, which have nothing to do with my personality. Yet we keep pretending that the only thing that matters is how nice we are. I'm not saying you can act like a jerk. I'm saying that I'm skeptical that my personality or any physician's personality can be changed. And even if you could change it, I don't know what you'd change it into because every other physician around me is also guaranteed to be sued. If we really wanted to prevent lawsuits, and most medical legal experts don't because they make their living off of lawsuits, but if we really wanted to prevent them, we'd stop ignoring the data and at least consider something other than the physician's personality. And I'm going to talk about some of those things in upcoming installments of The Crucible. Thanks for listening.